Content Catchup.
Friends and enemies, welcome back to another episode of the Content Catchup, your favourite sports content podcast.
I reckon that's fair.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
A little bit of
an
addition to that one. It's not bad. You're listening to the great voices of myself, Julian, and my friend Michael Barker. Michael, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me once again. Great to be back. What's going on? Talk to me. How's your week?
I've had a good week. It's Australian Open time, or just about to finish by the time you listen to this show. But I went to the tennis for the first time on Monday.
First time ever?
Shout out. Yeah, first time ever. I'm not a big tennis person.
No, neither.
As you can imagine, my patience for sport it dropped significantly in tennis. But I enjoyed it. Saw a couple of very good games and then left after the first set of one because I'd had enough. But it was a very good experience. I'll tell you what's weird about tennis though, right? Mm-hmm. So I can sit and I can watch like 8 hours of cricket, even at the ground or the venue, and be totally fine with that.
Yeah.
But I really struggled with tennis because you're not allowed to talk while the play is happening.
Because cricket's more the social release, like the catch up with mates. But that's a really good point. I mean, last week we said that. Why do they need silence?
Yeah, they're very precious, but like I found that made it a little bit more boring. Like you're just sitting there going, I can't even talk about what's going on. I've got like 10 seconds in between when they start to serve or not. And also you're not allowed to like come back to your seats during a play. Like you have to wait.
Yeah, Elise was saying this, that you've got to wait, and if the game goes for ages, then you're just standing there looking like an idiot and you can't actually watch it.
Yeah, it's kind of like a little bit backward. They need to update something, what they're doing there. Like players just need to get a grip.
Yeah.
But Barks, you've been busy this week. I saw you headed down to a WNBL game.
Yeah, busy boy this week. So, I mean, firstly, Carlton. I feel like plenty's happening with Carlton. But, so got an opportunity to go take some snaps at a WNBL game, which is lots of fun, actually. It's bloody hot inside the stadium, but got some good grabs and good fun.
Which game did you head to?
So, Southside Flyers at Dandenong Stadium, and the Perth Lynx were down in our neck of the woods.
God bless the Perth Lynx who are doing it tough with old mate Mark McGowan not letting them back home.
I know that. They're stranded in Ballarat or something.
They're stuck here, yeah.
But no, that was good fun. I've wanted to do that for a while, so it was good to do it. Hopefully a few more opportunities come up. So shouts to the crew at WNBL. How'd
that come about?
Just the cold DMing. It's very it's sort of the only way you got to do it. But I tried it. I'll be honest. I tried a fair few people, and finally, Jessica, if you're listening, thanks for getting back to me and organising it for me. There's no. I guess I always just try to find the individual if you want to do something, as opposed to reaching out to the organisation, like the general email. Find the individual, hassle them. General email.
Good on you, mate. I saw the photos. That looked pretty good.
Thanks. Which one is your favourite? At Mike Wolf, everyone, go check it out.
He's up to 835 635 followers. Jeez, or something like that. He's
you recently
growing a bit of an audience here. I checked it this morning because I've seen your name pop up on a few things, and I'm like, his followers got to be growing.
Busy poster.
He's at 675. Right. What we've got to worry about here with you is your follower to following ratio.
What? How many? How am I following?
Yeah, you're nearly plus 200. You're following 831.
Well,
you got to cut.
No, I don't.
Got to cut back on that ratio. You got to have a positive ratio.
You're too old to think about this. You're not Gen Y. You're like a boomer or something.
I've got a plus 13 follower ratio.
Oh, fucking, let's talk about the shit that matters, all right? What are we talking about here?
Yeah, all right. Well, tell us about your content.
Yeah, no, so I just got a quick one this week on, we'll bring up the old run sheet, but PUMA Footy and Instagram page I've followed for, speaking of photography, this is a good segue, By the White Line, at By the White Line, is Rachel Bach or Bach, I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Bach. So I've followed Rachel for a while, and By the White Line, I assume, is just the name of all her photos are soccer. So she's a soccer photographer, I believe. But she recently did a collab with PUMA Footy, which features a series of athletes that I just wanted to raise because I think it's really cool that something I've noticed with Rachel is every post she makes, it's not just a post for the sake of being a post. Like, she will go detailed into what the photo means to her and the story behind it, which I absolutely love. I think it's great to actually get an insight into the person taking the photo. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to quickly raise this PUMA really neat graphic carousel on Instagram, and the first athlete that features that I saw was Monique Conti, Richmond AFLW player, as everyone knows, used to play basketball professionally. WNBL, yep. But anyway, there's a beautiful carousel here, and I'll just read out the caption because it sort of gives you an insight into what I'm talking about. So, with Mon, there's more than meets the eye. When you're in the room with her, you can feel her energy. She's friendly, a little cheeky, and very entertaining. Meet her on the field, and the last thing you want to do is underestimate her. She's at the top of her game and unrelenting in her pursuit of the footy. Another one with Sabrina from Collingwood, I believe it is.
Sab Frederick.
Yes. Let me just quickly read this one out. No, that's not it. This one, so Sabrina from Collingwood, AFLW player. During a recent shoot, well, this was actually the first one. So during a recent shoot, by the white line, had the opportunity to speak to and shoot a number of our AFLW and NRLW players. And then they sort of just go on a little spiel about what Rachel actually is trying to do with these photos. So off the field, Sabrina has an infectious positive energy and a smile that you can't miss. On the field, she's a force to be reckoned with and will be giving it all she has in her new team colours. All I wanted to say was I think this type of thing is great for a sport that basically needs, let's be honest, all the exposure they can get because they don't get what they deserve. So well done, Rachel. I love what you're doing.
I think that's cool. It's like a little bit of the Humans of New York meets the sports world, and then combining with obviously Puma lifestyle kind of clothing. So it's got that commerce and retail arm to it as well. It takes it away from just footy. I like how she's also stuck to like a bit of a like a formula, like on the field, off the field, and that's probably like the theme of the photographs as well. Like they're more off the field, but it's bringing in that on the field personality to it.
Exactly.
No, cool find. The layout of these are really cool as well, like the little edits and stuff. I'm not sure if that's Rachel or if it's Puma that does that, but still, it's nice little
good editing.
Yeah, nice little way to display the photos.
Yeah, I think that's on the Puma side, but you're right. It's about who they are on the field and who they are off the field, which we go on about a lot. So I just wanted to give the shouts to Rachel and Puma Footy because I think it's a really cool piece of content and easy to consume as well. That's the one thing that I sort of noticed.
What are your thoughts on these like long captions, like stories within captions? Do you think they're effective, or do you think people just still gloss by them a little bit?
Both, I reckon. Like, I think and people are gonna skip over this, I think, once they see how many lines it has. But I really enjoy. That's why I wanted to bring it up because I really enjoy actually reading through rather than just. I did it with my Matty Garrick shoot the other week. You sort of just put that small caption of what it actually is, but Rachel goes into depth of what it actually is, if that makes sense. Yeah.
I think it's like, it's nice not to have to leave a platform to read a story. Like, I think you can put part of it to,
that's true,
or the most like enticing part of the whole overall story in the caption, and then maybe if people are still interested, that you can redirect. But like, I mean, we're all about keeping people engaged where they are, and if where they're engaged is Instagram, keep them engaged on Instagram and do what you can to make them come back for more.
Yeah. I think it also shows she has the passion for it. Like, it's not just taking photos for the sake of taking photos. She loves to meet the athletes, judging by these captions. So, well done, Rachel.
Yeah. On your Rach.
Bach. Oh, can I have a quick shout out to 14-year-old Max slid into my DMs asking for me to do a shoot of his basketball game, which I just thought it was great. It's real random, but like a 14-year-old slid into my DMs and asked me if I could shoot his basketball game.
Are you going to do it?
No, sorry, Max. But I just I just found it funny because it's just like I'd chase these opportunities. And Max,
imagine if Max is listening to this and you just shattered his dream.
I've already denied him. I didn't leave him hanging. I just said thanks, but no thanks, basically. But good.
Why did you say no?
We don't need to go into it. I just said it's not the type of. I don't know how it works. It's not the type of work. I could, but I'm not going to.
Come on, give back to the community, mate.
What do you reckon he'd say if I'd like asked him how much he'd pay?
I'll probably be like, I'll buy you a bag of Cheetos after the game or something like that.
Anyway,
You can share a slice of my post-match pizza if we win.
I wanted to appreciate the courage to do that at 14 or
I think
under
you should
14.
do it. I think you should get off your high horse and just do
I'll
it.
do it if he pays me.
What isn't the satisfaction of knowing that you've helped a 14-year-old enough?
No.
God, you're a cool person.
You want to talk some tennis?
Anyway, yeah. Look, last week, I think we spoke about maybe looking at how the Australian Open kind of covered their sport and like looked into a few of the moments of it. But look, I don't think the Australian Open has done anything particularly brilliant with their like coverage apart from share it all. But I do think that what has emerged from all of this is just like, it's reminded people how good sport can be. I think like from whether it's going to an event, consuming it on TV, looking at it on social media. I've had one of the best like times over the last week just looking at what people have produced, whether it's the Australian Open, whether it's individual people on Twitter, whether it's graphic designers making stuff for Ash Barty and Special K, the Kyrgios and Kokonakis double thing. Some of the moments that have come out of the thing as well. So I just thought I pulled together a couple of examples here that I really liked. Starting with my favourite. And now, Barks, are you a Seinfeld fan?
I've never seen an episode of Seinfeld, but I should.
Fuck, I love bringing up the fact that you've never watched it. So
yeah, I was gonna say you knew that. You're just trying to.
I knew that. I just like to remind it. Anyway, there's this really famous episode of Seinfeld where George Costanza, one of the main characters, goes to the US Open and is like caught on the broadcast eating an ice cream sundae and it's all like over his face and he gets really embarrassed because like everyone sees it obviously and it's just the commentators are making fun of it. The other day, Steve Waugh, former Australian cricket captain, test legend, all this kind of stuff, was at the cricket eating a cornetto. Georgie Parker on Twitter put out this thing.
Oh shit. Okay.
Surely someone puts waiting for someone to make Steve Waugh eating an ice cream into a GIF. And let me tell you, Anthony Clark has come to the table because he's not just put it into a GIF. He's remade the Seinfeld footage with Steve Waugh instead of George Costanza. So it's the whole scene, but it's just Steve Waugh really enjoying his like cornetto or drumstick or whatever it is. And then just Kramer like pissing himself laughing.
I think it's funny, but can I say how stupid this type of stuff is? Like, who gives a shit that someone's eating an ice cream? I get it though, because it's what gets
brilliant.
Clicked. Yeah,
like,
it's what gets clicked.
And it's what you've got to realize about something like the Australian Open, which isn't probably your typical tennis fan. It's sports fans who just love the fact that it's in Australia, right? And it's consumable for the first time. They're getting involved in the content creation as well. And I feel as like a sporting institution, what the Australian Open could have done more of is lean on this community generated content a little bit and shared a little bit more of these like community highlights and whatnot. But that's another point. But I just thought that was pretty funny. My second one comes from Tim Rosen. I think this was just a pretty funny tweet that I liked. Again, about like how the community gets involved and like doing this. But Ash, yeah, brilliant. So like Ash Barty has obviously like just won all of her matches in under 2 hours or 2 hours or less. So Tim Rosen, Ash Barty been parking her car in a 1 hour zone the entire tournament. Australian Open.
Great.
Like, sure.
Peak Twitter. It's just
again, peak Twitter. It's been peak Twitter this week. I've also like, again, to the Seinfeld point as well. This is where like as an Australian Open, I know you've got a million things going on, but perhaps like leverage of some of these ideas that people are having in the community and produce something like that. Like go out, take a photo of a car park with just like 1 hour car park and be like, this is where Ash has been parking or something like that.
It's a really good point. It brings everyone together. It's like what we've missed, I think, with sport and crowds. And the crowds being there obviously helps.
Yeah, absolutely. And having so many successful Aussies in it this time as well.
Ollie's gnarly, man.
Next one, again, this was close to being boss of the week for me, but this is just a very, very powerful photo. For those at home, It's Dylan Alcott. So if you're not aware who Dylan Alcott is, he's a famous Australian tennis player who's had a lot of success in wheelchair tennis. He's obviously disabled. And in the photo, it's just him and this little disabled child just fist bumping near the net. And the tweet that goes along with it is, the reason we do what we do bigger than tennis.
Wholesome.
Again,
That's lovely.
Wholesome moment that comes out on social media. Nice, simple bit of content from an athlete as well, showing his appreciation for where he is today and why it's so important to him as well.
Dylan's good at communicating that, like the appreciation.
Very, very good as well. I think like being in a position of like where he is, as well as like such a successful athlete, and recognizing that like, it's all you ever really want from your athletes, isn't it? Like to recognize the impact that they have on the community.
Yeah. And I think his farewell speech, the retirement speech the other day, like it's not about, you get the impression it's not about the wins and the medals. It's about his impact, which he always talks about.
Yeah, exactly.
I nearly had this as my boss, this next one.
Yeah, this was great as well. We're rolling through these, so there's a fair few to have a look at. I'd highly recommend, if you're just listening, jump onto the YouTube version of this, because some of them are quite visual. But this was, I actually watched this live, so this is one of the games I watched. So this was pretty amazing, right? So Alizé Cornet, the French tennis player, who in herself had a pretty amazing story. Like, first time she made quarterfinals in her 16 years of playing tennis, so quite sensational on her own. After she won the match to go into the quarterfinals, former Australian tennis player Jelena Dokic, who's had a pretty like turbulent history with a lot of things, I'd recommend you look into her story if you don't know it too much. Again, like, this is the power of sport, and like I think the beauty of it, and athletes recognizing other athletes and creating their own special moments in the moment. Alizé Cornet could have really made this moment about herself, but Jelena Dokic was doing the on-field interview, and Alizé kind of turned around and just congratulated Jelena on her own progression. I reckon we roll this one because it's pretty nice to listen to as well.
Yeah.
Wait. So I just want to thank my box first, but also I want to tell you something. Yes. How you moved on in your life. I think we can all congratulate you, because you were an amazing player, and now you're an amazing commentator. So bravo, Eva.
I saw this and didn't know the background.
So yeah, Jelena Dokic used to be a tennis player for Australia, fairly successful.
Yeah, I knew that part, but you make it sound like there's something more to it.
Well, her dad, Damir Dokic, was a nut. Like,
actually, this
very crazy.
Yeah, okay.
And I think there's like physical and mental abuse that went on throughout her career. And she eventually had the courage to or the strength rather, to step away from him. But obviously, like, by that stage, her career had already kind of dwindled away. So for her to find a bit of peace to be back in tennis, I think is like a really cool story, because obviously it'd be pretty hard to come back to a space where it used to be pretty damaging.
How's the almost the awareness from, like, in the moment for Elize, sorry, I didn't know how you pronounce her name, but Alizé, to actually say that in the moment. Like, I don't know if that's something you sort of think about before you win the match, but that's pretty cool.
No, that's what I mean. I think, like, again, these are the wholesome moments of content that is so good that they're sharing, and like showing that it's just more than a sport. It's a bit of a community as well.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this is the moment we all were waiting for as Australian tennis fans, but Ash Barty, first female player to win, first female Australian player to win the Australian Open in 44 years, but also only the second Indigenous Australian to win it.
Yeah.
A great moment that's been captured really well by the Australian Open and shared really well is like the surprise of Yvonne Goolagong Cawley, the first Indigenous lady to win the Australian Open,
really
coming
cool,
out and presenting. Yeah. It's just another wholesome moment from it. But there's a few bits of content that come out of this. Obviously, the presentation itself, but have a look at the next one because the photo of this is fucking sensational. Like, I think it was Megan Huswaite who posted, our friend.
Shout out to Megan, yeah.
Megan.
Nearly passed that
Good
one.
to have you back. Yeah.
Sorry, the old laptop's a bit hot today.
Jesus.
Oh, no.
All right. Just play amongst yourselves. There it is. How cool is that photo?
Yeah, it's cool. That's real nice.
For those at home, it's Ash and Yvonne like kind of embracing themselves, but it's from the behind perspective. So you see the line of photographers in the front, the Melbourne sign. It's just like a really cool moment. And then there was another few where Kathy Freeman was also in it as well. And it's like these three icons of Australian sport, but what a moment to have them all together as the like Indigenous community.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I love the moment that it was obvious that Ash wasn't aware that she was coming out. Completely irrelevant to this. I often think about these massive moments, seeing these line of photographers all in the same position. Would you not go out of your way to find just avoid where everyone is? I know it would be hard, but using this shot, for example, could just be a shot from the phone. But this shot would be so much more powerful and yours compared to 20 photos from that one angle in front of them. Just interesting to me that there's always, from these big moments, a massive line and everybody's essentially got the same photo.
I think like it's just because it is an international event and there'd be so many distributors looking for this particular photo. Like that's the photo they want and they don't want to have to pay someone else. They've already paid someone to go and cover it. So
true.
I get what you mean, like, but did you watch any of the coverage of Ash afterwards and how she was just walking around doing interviews for like the night after? So yeah, you can probably appreciate where they just got to condense it all, I guess.
Yeah, true. And you don't want to miss the shot that you're getting paid to get to be creative. Yeah, which is probably good. All right, was that it? One more.
No, I don't know what you've done to link fucking 7 there, but let's have a look at that. This is my favorite bit of content out of all of it, and it's going to need sound.
Is this still Megan Huswaite?
No.
Hang on.
What have you done?
Don't get annoyed at me. Look. Oh, it's next to it. Okay. All right. Well, bear with me, guys.
Bear with you,
friends.
All right. This one just needs sound.
Okay. Nope.
It's the Yvonne Goolagong moment, but it's the way we all wanted to see it. And thank you, Z, for this.
Have a little surprise. We have a special guest to present the finalist trophy in the Daphne Akhurst Memorial Cup. Would you please welcome a 13-time Grand Slam champion, 4-time winner here at the Australian Open. She is a legend of our game. Put your hands together for Yvonne Goolagong Cawley.
The strut suits it perfectly.
Oh my god. By God.
This is why going back to why Twitter makes it so like just that's what Twitter is for in my mind. Like whenever there's a big event, I jump on to see what idiots made the next thing that goes viral. Well done, Z.
I think it's just like, yeah. I don't know. Again, to my point earlier, the point with all of these is just the reminder that like sport can be a really uniting thing.
Yeah.
For a lot of people, and it doesn't even really matter what the event is. But if you can tap into that as a content creator, and I think the Australian Open have done a really good job, but I think they missed out on several opportunities to do like a little bit more, to lean into the community and really like take a few of their ideas and run with them.
I really like.
It's just
Sorry, go on.
No, it's just like a little bit of a reminder to always be aware of like what's going on in the sport online that you're working on and take an inspiration from that.
Yeah. No, I really like that train of thought that you mentioned before of using an example of taking a photo of the 1 hour parking sign. Like that's very doable, and it's almost like your plan of attack is because we're not sure who's going to win or who plays well, why don't we be reactionary to what people notice online and what people are talking about on Twitter? Like, let's react to that as opposed to plan too much, because that's a really different approach. I think I like that.
Yeah. And as like, because then they're the Australian Open, right? They're not like Team Barty or team like
no
whoever else. They can get away with a little bit more of this kind of stuff because they're athletes. They're promoting the game, not the athlete of the individual. So have some fun as well.
Yeah. Jules, you know what pisses me off?
What, Michael?
I put 4 eggs in the fry pan the other morning and stuffed up 2, and they broke. The yolk was everywhere, and I'm pissed off about it. I want to sort of boss myself on the back of this intro because I took them and gave Elise the perfect ones.
Oh, that's very chivalrous of you.
Thank you. Anyway, egg of the week. That was my
Egg of the
intro.
week.
Let's talk eggs. I wanna quickly.
You go
Because
first.
we're on the subject of tennis. Did you see the guy that got kicked out of the game last night?
I did.
So-
I did see the guy that
So
got
for
kicked out.
anyone doesn't know, obviously there's a lot of heroes at the tennis that like to yell out, have their 2 seconds of fame built. See, Critter's been doing that in the office yesterday, and I actually quite find it funny. But anyway, so this guy in Ash Barty's the final with Ash Barty last night. No, sorry, it was the men's
No, it
doubles.
was the
Sorry,
doubles.
yeah,
Yeah.
apologies. Fuck, I'm so sorry. This guy probably looked youngish, bit hipster. He didn't get his 2 seconds of fame. He got way too much. He got about a minute of fame where basically he yelled out something while no one else was speaking, so it was very obvious who it was. Nick Kyrgios, Kokkinakis, everyone sort of turned on him and said, kick him out. So anyway, the whole game stops. And meanwhile, this is close to the final, like the championship point. This takes away the energy from the last few points of the game. And everybody stops. Security comes down. Everybody's pointing at this dude. And he awkwardly walks out. And not only that, his mates get kicked out as well. What a massive egg. You got your moment, and you look like an absolute fool on national television.
I think it's funny because they've waited that long for that match as well.
Yeah.
And then just to get kicked
It's
out
so
before
late,
they even
yeah.
get to celebrate it.
And it's just, and actually, I was worried it took the momentum out of the last, like the winning point that gets played. But
Yeah.
Anyway, just an egg.
I did feel like the broadcasters probably could have avoided from like plastering his face all over
Stuff it.
the TV.
You want to be the hero, then they'll make you your hero.
That's true.
You want your moment?
You got to cop that. Yeah, that's very true. Good find. Now, my egg. I don't think I had an egg last week, so I had to come to the table today.
Okay.
I've got 2 stories.
Okay.
I got 2 stories. One is personal. I'm egging myself. So,
I'm intrigued.
last week, Barks, I think I told you I had a 30th on the Saturday. The Saturday.
I thought you were going to say
Saturday.
a bogan Jules
Saturday.
entered the building.
Sat Diavo. So get ready, leave. The party in my mind started at about like 1 o'clock. So I'm always late. And I thought we were going to be there for a while Saturday night. So I left at 2 in the Uber on the way there. And it's at a friend's house in Hillside, which is about 25 minutes away from where I live. And then I get a group message from the event on Facebook saying, with a picture posted in it and saying, oh, all these drinks are ready for you tomorrow.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, and in my mind, I'm like, there'd been another group message floating around because a few of the boys were going to go and watch the UFC tomorrow. And I thought, okay, party on Saturday, and then
UFC.
they were going to kick on with UFC on Sunday. And I thought, yeah, that's fine. I don't watch UFC. I'll just go for the Saturday. But then it got me curious, and I was like, wait a minute. Have I fucked this up, right? Like, if I royally stuffed this up. And I go to the event, and sure enough, the party wasn't on Saturday. I was a day early. So it turns out, even though I was late on the Saturday, I was early for the Sunday.
Hang on, I want to talk. You saw the message and you didn't triple check your Facebook.
Well, I was already in the Uber when that message came through.
But did you look at it when you're in the Uber? So surely you would have...
Yeah. No. I was in the Uber. It came through. I look at it and I'm like, hold on, this is a bit sus. Let me just double check the event. Already halfway there.
But you followed through with
like,
you followed through with getting there. You didn't just stop the Uber.
No, I didn't get there.
Okay.
I ended up... We had something else we could go to, and we had to change halfway through. So it's not a complete egg. I mean,
I had questions.
a little bit of an egg.
I had questions if that was the case.
I didn't just rock up to the party where it wasn't. No.
That's how you worded it, that you arrived. You're like, oh, shit,
the
Facebook invite happened to be correct.
But just egging myself for my lack of attention to detail.
Yeah, you're a fuckwit. Good on you.
Yeah, good one. My next one. Now, this is very Carlton specific, and I hope we've got some Carlton fans or people who know Carlton reasonably well. Friday, Barks, big hailstorm, big rainstorm, and obviously Carlton had a home game this week on Sunday. So there's a little bit of preparation that needs to go into the ground and the signage and whatnot, and that falls to our facilities team. And as part of our facilities team, we have our good friend Anthony Meatball Serra and Jonathan, who's just started as like the main man in terms of facilities. They had to do the goalpost wraps to get them up. Can you guess when they had all week, right? They had all week to do this. Can you guess when they decided to go out and put the goalpost wraps on?
I'd assume they left it too late and had to do it during the hail.
They went out as it had just started raining, and they got caught in the hail putting up these goalpost wraps.
Meatball!
So I got a little bit of video here. There's Meatball in the car, leaving Jonathan out to just strap these out while the hail falls on.
Is this you talking?
Yeah, that's me talking at the start, trying to get his attention. So Meatball's driving around in a golf cart, hail falling everywhere. Poor Jonathan out there just strapping on these goalpost straps.
Jonathan's unfazed. He's just
Unfazed.
He's just going about his business. Meatball's hiding
He's
out.
got a minor concussion for all the hailstones.
Great
but
fun.
we're all good.
Great original content from you.
Yeah, egg of the week.
Massive egg, and also Jonathan
Egg of
Boster.
these two. Yeah. You're cool. Now we're on to our other favourite segment here, Barks. You've already kicked it off a little bit, but let's hit the music.
Okay.
Boss of the week.
Yeah, nice. You want to kick us off?
I can kick us off. Now, there's been a lot of good moments in tennis, but obviously not obviously. I keep saying obviously. It's not obvious. Like, people don't watch every single sport.
Or maybe that's
I'm
your
sorry.
go-to word. You know how everyone has a word while they're talking? Obviously.
It's just two sides to everything, Barks.
Well,
but
it's
anyway.
nice, so, mate. Maybe yes, maybe no.
The women's Ashes is also kicked on. And there was a bit of a rain delay the other day. So a few kids were just keeping themselves entertained in the rain with a tennis ball and just a plastic bottle. It looks like they're playing cricket, just, no drama. Having the time of their life as well. They don't look too phased that they're just playing with a water bottle and a tennis ball. But then famous cricketer and like a legend of the game, now a commentator, Mel Jones, came out and actually gave them a brand new cricket bat
nice.
to play with, so they could just carry on, and then had a little bit. I think a few of them stayed around and played a little bit of cricket with them. Just again another wholesome community moment, and it didn't take much, does it? It's a cricket bat. There are probably millions of them lying around.
You know what this lends really well to? Your first point.
What's that?
First point of the pod. Reactionary to what you see. So how good a piece of content and how nice has this been? Like what they can post on their socials and actually, I guess, bring the community into their day of the cricket. And it's all just by reacting as to what the kid, there are a couple of kids playing cricket.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, let's go bring him a bat.
Yeah, saw it on the broadcast or someone brought it to their attention. And kudos to the person who made this all happen, because I'm sure it wasn't Mel Jones who saw it when it got a cricket bat. But just having the idea and everyone going along with it, making it happen so quickly, bosses, all of them. Well played.
Well played, you bunch of bosses. All right, I've got a few. Let's just kick it off with, I think this is on an NFL one, quick one. This guy was warming up in the middle of the opposition team's cheerleaders. Had no shits about doing I think he was lining up for his goal kicking action. I forgot what team it was, but let's have a watch. Or let's have a look. So the blue...
Oh, Kansas City.
Kansas City, I don't know who
Buffalo
Cowboy...
Bills.
This is Cowboys cheer team?
Oh, Cowboys.
So the Cowboys cheer team were just doing their little halftime routine or whatever they're doing. And this guy, Robbie Gold, is just practicing his field goal kick in front of it, in the middle of it.
That's nuts.
That's funny. Do you want to keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
Quick boss.
I've only had the one boss, so just...
Okay. Quick boss. Very important boss, though, during the week. You actually met, I think, the main... So if for those that didn't see, the Aboriginal flag was officially freed, which means that all Australians have the right to use it for free, which was a massive campaign from Clothing the Gaps.
Huge.
And specifically, if I got this name right, Laura Thompson, right? You actually met Laura. We did some stuff with Carlton with her last year, and you got to meet her. So shouts to the massive boss to them and the work they do. Just wanted to acknowledge that.
Yeah, great call. Huge get. Not huge get. They did tireless work.
The amount of work, yeah.
Yeah, and I think they celebrated as they should. They spray painted a big D on their Free the Flag.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's cool actually.
Building. Yeah, that was super cool. No, obviously no small feat to get this free for everyone to use, but also for particularly Aboriginal and Indigenous companies to be able to use something of their own in their own designs and whatnot, and that's very important for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Ending my last boss, back to the tennis world. A ball girl decided to, I don't know if it was curious, it smashed his racket. But she saw a broken racket just sitting there, and I don't know if the tweet's right, but she saw it, sort of looks guiltily at the other ball person and grabs it. And she's going to pocket a souvenir. gives a little shrug, walks off with it. I hope she kept it.
I hope so as well.
Oh, it was Rafa. I don't know who it was, but there's a broken racket on the ground, and she picks it up, sort of looks really guilty, hides it, not that you can hide a racket, and walks off with it.
Yeah,
well done.
Fair enough. Good on you. I mean, if they're not going to clean up their own mess, it's
exactly
free property.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Souvenir. Could be worth millions. Might be an NFT.
Well, All right.
We'll end this bad boy of an episode with everyone's. Well, it's funny how we'd like to introduce every segment as the favourite segment. I think we're just trying to hype it up too much, maybe. But mic'd up.
Just hit the music.
Hit the music. Back-to-back weeks. We love it. I just had a few bosses. Why don't you kick us off? Is this your second one? You got Med?
This is my second one. I'm back on the Medvedev wagon. I actually love him. I think he's my new favourite tennis player.
I honestly can't tell if I like him or don't like him. I appreciate that he likes to cause shit, basically.
Yeah. This is, again, it's just a bit of community content from his big rant that he went on to the umpire, which wasn't great in all things, but like this little bit of it, I think it's just, it's hilarious.
Sorry, that's good.
Gotta get some sound.
Look at me! I'm talking to you! What do you want?
That's awful. Who thinks they can speak to people like that? I don't care what you've done.
Just the way he says it. Look at me, I'm talking to you.
Great impersonation.
You're like Arnold Schwarzenegger in The Terminator or something. My God.
The caption from this Blake Johnson dude is "Meet to my cat," which is funny.
Yeah.
People just use these bites. Again, Twitter. It's a real Twitter episode, this one.
It's been a great week of
Twitter.
Great week of
Twitter. And you're right, it's all because there's a big sporting event. It brings everyone together.
Yeah.
But yeah, Medvedev.
I mean, don't listen to the full rant. There's also one part of it where he's clearly like, and forgive me for this, but he's clearly trying to call the umpire a pussy.
Oh, yeah, you go.
And he calls him a small cat or something.
But is it right that he did that in his language and someone had to pick it out and actually find what he said? Like it was just small,
maybe.
Unless he did just say small cat. But either way, it's
still hilarious.
It's pretty funny. He's going to create some content. We need to follow him after Australian Open. Keep getting these mic'd up.
Angry content.
yeah. Medvedev of the week. I got it. NBL have provided a few mic'd up ones for me, and I've got another one. So the Tasmania Jack Jumpers, everybody's favourite team name in the NBL. Don't know the head coach's name off the top of my head, but the broadcast catches his raw emotion. Listen for, you have to sort of hear it beyond the commentary, but his raw emotion just literally screaming at the crowd. So he's walking up to the crowd, pumping his fist, waving his hands. I just love the raw emotion that you can't teach this passion.
He really loving it. How good's this? This is real. This is, if you know the bowling clip of...
Is this their first win?
Not their first win. It just must have. I didn't catch the game, but it must have just been a emotional
Pretty
win
big
or a
one,
big
yeah.
And I just loved it. I think I think it's really cool. I don't know about you, Jules, but whenever I see like players screaming, obviously in the basketball world, if they scream at the camera or they're like absolutely going berserk, there's part of my brain that really wants to know what they're saying, because I can't comprehend what you actually say. Like, do you just scream yes? Like, do you scream come on? Like, what do you say?
I don't know. Yeah, I agree with you. I think they should just let it go. But I suppose a lot of the times they swear, so they kind of just like
True.
block it out.
True.
That's really cool though. I mean, that also gives. It's similar to like in many organisations when you see your boss or captain or whatever showing emotion, you know that
they care.
You can do that as well.
Oh yeah. That's a good point.
And they care, yeah. So it encourages the players to show that level of emotion, not just be robotic athletes and whatnot.
And
that was good.
Shows the fans and community as well that again they care. So good on you.
How much they care, yeah, awesome. Well, let's wrap this up. Hey, Michael,
Pete. We haven't thrown to. We don't really mention Pete. Sorry, Pete. We haven't talked about you much. You do great work. I know you work tirelessly during the week, so shouts to you.
Yeah, recording the intros,
every
outros,
week.
and wrap it up every week.
He does. It's fresh. It's not repeat. He doesn't like to repeat. Anyway, get on with it.
If you listen back to every episode, you'll see that no Pete actually sounds the same.
Subtle differences.
All right. Well, that's another episode of the content catch up done. Just want to give another thanks to Lee Olsen for episode 7 a couple of weeks ago now. If you haven't listened to it, really go have a listen to it, because it is a really insightful look into the digital design world. And the more I think about how it's progressed in a short time, but over a long period of time as well. So thanks again, Lee, for that episode. We'll be back with a guest probably in the next couple of weeks. Taking some suggestions. So if anyone has anyone they want to hear from or can put us in touch with anyone, please feel free to slide into those DMs. But we are working on our next guest. Barks, anything else from you?
Nothing from me. Have a good week. I'll catch you next time I look at you. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe.
Maybe we can kiss. To everyone else, make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to our podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And full episodes are up on YouTube with all the examples. Have a great week, everyone.
See ya.
Bye.